Hello, all. Ron Servin here. It is Tuesday afternoon here in Southern California. A little overcast, gloomy weather after a couple days of nice, warm sunshine, and just really a growing week for me in respect to time away from my son and being the first time that my wife and I had experienced this. He's 14 years old, and he's just finishing up a trip to Washington D.C. and had kind of a snafu that I'll share with you in a minute. But just as I look back, my wife and I were able to get away for the weekend. We've been married 33 years, and just going through challenges of life around just everything above, from this new transition for me in my life and coaching and retirement coming up here shortly. My wife with just some major challenges at work and just some challenges as a woman just in her life, and just being able to step back and spend some time with her was just awesome this last couple days. And my son, who again left last Friday for Washington D.C. with his middle school, and just really as a father, really feeling good about just, I guess, what we've done or I've done as a father, just creating that space for him to be bold and courageous in his life, meaning that he decided that he wanted to go on this trip, and it was a result of being in the top 100 as far as his school grades. But just in the past, where he may have been a little uncertain of being away from us, kind of in an unknown place and traveling across the United States with his classmates, not knowing what to expect in relations to just the whole overall experience, but just really excited he was about just going to visit Washington D.C. and all of the attractions there, and he's just had an amazing time. But it just really allowed me to experience what life will be at some point, obviously in the future when he is off to college. But for us to really kind of know as parents, we've been able to set him up for success in relations to trusting himself, trusting others, trusting that he is on this journey, that he is being supported by us as his parents, but also him learning more and more about himself and who he is as a 14-year-old boy, how he kind of fits into this whole school thing, him learning more and more about how to be more social and just how to start formulating what he wants in his life. So again, just kind of an interesting last several days where we were able to just kind of know that he's in this place so far away from us, but feeling comfort knowing that we could let go and have a good time, knowing that we trust him, trust the parents and the students and the school that he's with, but still having some of that uncertainty, right? Being so far away, not knowing if something could happen, not looking for a worst case scenario, but knowing that things happen, right? So today was kind of one of those unexpected things. So he was actually scheduled to be home tonight, Tuesday evening. And we got a text from him that there was some miscommunication or wrong decision made, but they missed their flight. So now they're still in Washington D.C. They're going to be spending an additional night near the Reagan Airport and then flying out tomorrow. So just I guess when we look at being parents and how we obviously want to do the best we can to create the environment for our kids to be themselves, to learn to communicate and experience these types of things with others, knowing that there's a lot of uncertainty around that in this place where they've never been before, and being away from their parents and knowing that that this decision that was made to allow them to go is just such a small part of their growth at that age to kind of build that that foundation of independence, and for parents to be able to step back and know that although it's challenging, we're missing him and all those things that go along with having a 14-year-old boy and being around him so often, and now having all these days and so far away distance from us, just really a nice, I guess, a good place for us to experience, knowing that this isn't something that's common. He was selected and wanted to do this, and kids these days have so many different experiences to decide to take on. Some of them nourishing, some not nourishing, and it's nice to know that my son had made this decision. We were supportive of it. We were able to make it happen, and financially, for him to do this. And this is probably something he's going to remember for the rest of his life, and something we'll remember for the rest of our lives, knowing that we were able to live life without him here on a regular basis. And that's as we grow up, right? Those things that we feel, those attachments to people, whether it's our loved ones, our parents, our siblings, our children, and just that peaceful place that we can really create in our lives, to where when these things happen and something goes sideways, we still have the ability to cope. We have the ability to understand that things happen, and he's still safe, and kind of knowing that he's going to be home, and all those things. But as parents, we that anxiety can overwhelm us, and we can come from fear, and we don't know what's going to happen. And especially as a man, we want to be stoic, and we don't want to show that we're scared, or we don't want to show that we miss outwardly miss our sons in a way that creates just a sense of sadness. But just knowing that that's part of who we are as men, and part of this journey for me has been to now being a father, or being for a father for 14 years, is to kind of think back when I was 14 years old or younger, and just the experiences that I had, and I guess appreciating to a certain extent those things that I was able to grow from and learn from, and good and bad, and knowing that all those individual things that I've experienced has led me to where I'm at today. And just allowing the story to continue, knowing that I'm writing this beautiful story, and Anthony's in the process of writing more and more of his story, my son, and us as a family growing this beautiful life of ours, and appreciating everything that we have, knowing that we've worked hard and set ourselves on a direction of experiencing the most we can, and so much more to come. So just thought I'd pop on, just share a little bit about that, just some things going on over the last few days, and maybe it resonates with you, and something you can learn from, or reflect on, or share in a way that allows others to not struggle with some of those things, especially as men, again, that we don't oftentimes feel like we can share our experiences, knowing that it might help somebody else out there to go through a rough time, or challenging situation, or other things that kind of keeps us kind of behind the scenes, and not stepping forward and being this full, authentic, vulnerable, feeling man at times. So again, just kind of reflecting back on this experience of my son being away for so long, and how that's kind of how that process and experience has gone for my wife and I and him over these last few days, and really excited to see him tomorrow. Missing him tonight. He's supposed to be home, but I appreciate you listening, and hope all is well with you, and we'll talk soon.